Mary Katherine Ham joins me. We were waiting. Good morning, Hammer. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Great. It's the Fetching Mrs. Hewitt's birthday, so I've got to be on my toes all day.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
happiest birthday to her. I got to put it
I
on the podcast.
well, you know, she'll hear it then because she listens a lot more to you than she listens to me, and I'm not jealous, Hammer. I'm not. But
No,
she's
not at
also
all.
starting. She's got a man crush on Vic Mattis now too. She tells me about Vic every day. It used to be what Hammer was saying. Now it's about Vic, and
I mean, Vic is
it,
Vic is infectious. He's just
that is.
people love that guy.
Well, you know, that's how you get in trouble. Mary Catherine, I'm so glad you got up because I wanted to ask you about one story that not many people will
Yeah.
see or hear. But if you do the reverse, this happens to someone on the left, it would be everywhere. I'll read it to
Okay.
you. A Fort Wayne man has been arrested and charged for allegedly leaving threatening voicemail on U.S. Congressman Jim Banks' phone. Aaron Thompson, 34, is charged with intimidation with a threat to commit a forcible felony and harassment by means of a telephone call. On April 6, Thompson left a voicemail on Banks' office phone and said he hoped Banks dies in a car crash and made vulgar statements about Banks' wife. On October 11th, Thompson called again. Oh, yeah, we'll give her 2 bullets. Malay, how's your moles on your face, you little blank head, Thompson said. In another voicemail, Thompson said he owns a gun because the Constitution allows him. And here's the choice, he added. Your daughters grew up without their dad or you grew up without your daughters. How do you like that? I know what your opinion is. I'll make the decision. All right. So U.S. Capitol Police found him. And you can find anyone who's stupid enough to leave 3 voicemails. But have you seen that story yet, Mary Catherine Ham?
I have not seen that, and this is something that the media does, which is it's a real self-validating circle they have, which is right-wing people are the only ones who have tendencies toward political violence, and therefore we either alchemy the left-leaning people into right-leaning people, or we just ignore them completely. And therefore, the data set, as far as it appears to regular people consuming the news, is that, oh my gosh, it only is right-leaning people who are involved in political violence, when in fact that is not the case at all.
Now, political violence on my list includes all of it, and that would include the January 6 rioters, including those who have been convicted. And there are 1,000 people who got arrested, about half of them have been convicted. But you've also got the softball shooting, the baseball shooting near your house and mine when we live in Old Town. You've got the assassination attempt on Brett Kavanaugh. You've got this. I mean, there's a long list. And the manifesto from Nashville we still haven't seen. Why do you think we haven't seen that manifesto, Mary Catherine Ham?
I mean, I think it's Occam's razor, right? I think the reason we haven't seen it is because it has the wrong messages. It won't be easy to sort of sweep that one under the rug because it is likely targeted at Christian Americans, and it's likely indicative of a politically driven crime that they don't want to talk about. That would be my guess. I don't want to be that person. I want to assume there's like a real security reason we don't know this. I don't think that's the case when it comes to covering political violence and talking about it in public. I'm still mad about the congressional baseball shooting, obviously, because it was a tragedy, but I'm mad about the coverage still because it was like less than 48 hours of vans out by that baseball field. I know because I lived right next to that baseball field. And the excuse the press always gives is like, oh, well, it was flyover country and we didn't have enough vans. The national news presence wasn't there. What's the excuse for this? It's 4 miles from the Capitol.
Yeah.
But everyone disappeared.
And Jim Banks is running for Senate. He is going to be a senator from Indiana. He's going to be in the Senate for a long time, and he has young children. This is the Achilles heel of everyone in public life. Now, my kids are grown. I don't have to worry about this anymore. I never mentioned them on the air for 30 years until the youngest of them was gone and out of college because it was just, we got threatened once. And I said, that's it. But this is the Achilles heel, and the left goes after it, Mary Catherine, and we don't hear about it.
Yeah, it's a scary thing, and there are a lot of people out there who want to intimidate you into not talking. I've had it done myself. I have had creepers come after us, and I try to keep my children basically anonymous for that reason. And it's part of being in public life, and it shouldn't be part of being in public life. But one of the ways to make sure that there's less of it is to equally punish those who are involved with it, regardless of their political affiliation. And I feel like we do not do that in the public sphere.
You know, what's interesting is I don't know anything about Mr. Aaron Thompson, except that his name is Aaron Thompson and he's age 34. Would it be reversed if AOC was on the receiving end? And I hope she isn't, but I'm sure she is.
Oh, 100%. I mean, like this is one of those things where I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I've just done doing that because that's not how coverage works for this kind of thing. It's just not.
Unless and until you know of this story on all the networks on the same day that you hear about it from me, the media is broken. MK Hammer, Getting Hammered is her podcast with Vic Mattis. And on my wife's birthday, I have to say it's her favorite podcast. So thank you, MK. I will talk with Mary Catherine again next week.